Hello, my friends. I'm with you today. I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and as every Friday, I'm here with you through the courtesy of Truth Be Told Radio Network. And this time, let me tell you something that it's probably important to talk about. I try not to date any of the blogs or any of the broadcasts because you're not going to listen to it necessarily at this time of the year that I think we are in. You might be listening to this broadcast 6 months from now, or a long time after because a friend of you told you to listen to it. So I try not to date it because I want to talk in general. The other reason is because I don't know what part of the world you're in. Through the magic of internet and all these things that are happening in this time and age, I don't know what time of the day, what time in the evening or the weekend you're listening to me. So I try to make it as general as possible without having to necessarily mix it with the date or the time of the day. That's why I never start saying good evening or good morning, because I don't know. We have people listening to us in Russia, and we have people listening to us in Australia. So the time frame is fantastic. It's absolutely unbelievable, particularly for people like me, that I was born in a total different age, where you would have to send a letter. I remember first time my parents went to Europe, they would send a letter telling us on what date they were going to call home. And that was a real adventure, just to have a transoceanic phone call so you could check on the kids. That was a real adventure. And then everything was like, hi, how are you? Are you fine? Okay, good. We're doing fine. Bye. Because the other thing is that it was very expensive. But in this time and age, I might be talking to you in Russia or in England or in California. I don't know. And you might be listening to this in the evening, in the morning, on the weekend. I don't know. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm very happy you're listening, because the message we have is for every time of the year, for every moment. And I think it's a matter of reflection and understanding and care for our own bodies, because that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I always talk about. I always talk about you and me and our friends and everybody and well-being. We just want to be healthy and enjoy each other and have fun and I don't know, anything we can do together. We know togetherness is wonderful. Friendship is a gift of God. All those things are very valuable. Now, what I'm going to talk about today. What I'm going to talk about today is a holiday. And not to date it necessarily to, let's say, Thanksgiving or Christmas or anything like that. I could say any holiday. We have, of course, two of the main festivities of the year, which are Thanksgiving, and the other one is Christmas. But I could say a wedding. I could say a birthday. I could say any get-together, for that matter. And of course, a lot of this is going to revolve around food. And the reason that I want to talk about it today is because being a doctor, particularly the type of doctor that I am, that works with metabolic therapies, with integrative therapies, where food and diet are a very important factor, where supplementation, where a good analysis of what your body might be missing in order to help you to heal is very important. With all those things that people know I work on every day, I get a lot of questions. Or rather, I would say a very frequent question. People tell me, doctor, how do I survive the holiday season? How can I go through all these meals and parties and so forth, yet I'm going to keep my health? I mean, you don't want to improve, at least keep your health. What about your weight? Aren't we all afraid that because the holidays are coming, we're going to gain weight? And many people tell me, no, right now I have to be very careful because the holidays are coming and I know I'm going to gain weight. So we're defeated to begin with. And another very frequent comment is, doctor, how can I resist all the sweet temptations of holidays? All the pastries, all the treats, all the goodies that are offered this time of the year. And the problem with the holiday season is that we go from Thanksgiving to New Year's, which is a long period of time, having one after the other festivity. And you say, this is going to be over a month's time. How can I plan it? So I started thinking, there's something wrong in this. After all, we're celebrating. We're celebrating, like in Thanksgiving, we're celebrating harvest. We're celebrating a successful year. We're celebrating beautiful crops, accomplishments. So what could be better than that? And same with Christmas. Christmas is a wonderful holiday, and we're celebrating the coming of Christ. And then we have New Year's, where we say goodbye to the previous year with all its ups and downs and problems. It's like turning the page and looking forward to what the new year has to offer, and see what plans of everything we have in mind will be able to come to fruition. So all those things are so positive. They are so wonderful. They are so fantastic that the question is, where did we turn this into a bad thing? When did we turn it into a negative situation? Where did that happen? And thinking of that, I started looking for the culprit. There has to be something here. There has to be something that has happened to all those celebrations that at the end, well, they're going to have fun, they're going to have memories, they have, particularly in these days, they're going to have a lot of pictures and selfies and whatever, but they're going to also leave us with some disease. They're going to produce a negative influence in our health. They're going to affect our blood pressure. They're going to affect our weight. They're going to affect a lot of things. So that was not the purpose of this celebration in the first place. We didn't get together for Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's to get sick. We got together because we wanted to enjoy each other, because we want to look forward, because we want to make plans. Because on one hand, we're thanking God for whatever we got already, whatever we have accomplished, but now we're making plans for the future, for the new year. Yet, right after all these celebrations, I have to go to the doctor because my sugar levels are abnormal, because my weight got me into problem, because my blood pressure went up, because I had a heart attack or stroke. Think again. And this is very serious. We have to think again. A celebration cannot be the excuse to intoxicate ourselves with all the things that we have brought to the table that shouldn't be there, that were not there in the beginning, that are not part of any celebration. And I'm going to tell you that if we sit down and analyze and review our plans for all the holidays, we can make it a wonderful festivity where everybody is going to enjoy, everybody is going to be very happy, and everybody is going to feel fantastic. No one will gain weight, nobody will have a higher sugar in the blood, no one will have any problem. But to be able to do that, I'm going to need first your understanding, second your will to do it, and I'm going to need proactiveness. Proactiveness in planning, proactiveness in sharing the information, in sharing the concept, in showing your children, your family first, and then everyone around you, that what all these festivities should provide and should be on the table have nothing to do with damaging our health, because we are going to be smarter than that. And we're going to stop. We should stop all the terrible things, all the bad things we're bringing to all those holiday seasons year after year after year, and we end up paying the price. We have confused fun with overdoing, with carelessness. Let's go back to obedience. Let's go back to what our bodies need, and let's go back to the real meaning of all these holidays. And we're going to be happier and healthier than ever. I promise you. My friends, I'm back. I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and you know that I'm with you through the courtesy of Truth Be Told Radio Network. And you can listen to this program every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Truth Be Told Radio Network, with a rerun every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Same, Truth Be Told Radio Network. But if you miss it for any chance, or if you want to listen to it again, or you want to share it, which is like the gospel, if you think we're telling something that's worthwhile listening, share it with other people. All you have to do is tell them to go to Spotify and search for Truth Be Told Radio Network. I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and you're going to have over 100 hours of programs like this. Every program is divided into 4 segments. Less than a quarter of an hour, less than 15 minutes. So we all have time to listen, to think of it, and tell me what you think. Because I'm also available in the social media of your choice, Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Just let me know. And you can say, Doctor, I like what you say. I have a question about this. I have a comment about that. This is what I had heard. And I will be very happy to comment, to answer, to go back to you and hopefully inspire you and guide you to a healthier life. Because number one, it pays to be healthy. You are your biggest asset. No one will replace that. No investment, no nothing is going to help you and your family as you being there, as you being in charge. And that can only be accomplished with health. So that will produce performance, that will produce a body that works fine, that will produce a body that gets up in the morning and gets going. See, all this is what you need. You don't need a body that is clumsy or foggy or anything like that. No, you have to be there. You have to be there for everybody. You have to be able to answer a question, to see something coming. I mean, we have to be alert, focused. And none of that will be accomplished if we are not healthy. So that is what I want to deliver on this message. And today we're talking about the big holiday season, from Thanksgiving to New Year. Beautiful holidays that one way or another we all celebrate. I should include Hanukkah. We have a lot of good friends and patients that celebrate Hanukkah. And all these holidays come at the same time of the year. It's roughly, a little bit over a month. So we have one celebration after the other and after the other. And I was telling you that a lot of patients ask me, how do I handle this in order not to get sick, in order not to gain weight, in order not to have my blood pressure going through the roof, etc. And then you start to think, what are we doing with these celebrations that they have turned into a threat? I mean, we face the holiday season now with a little bit of fear. I hope my blood pressure holds, my sugar level stays more or less, etc., etc. And not only that, but we play games. We say, well, it's a little bit off, but I think nothing will happen. No, if it's off, it's off. If something doesn't work well in your body, it's time to act. Don't believe any doctor that tells you you're fine. That blood pressure, that sugar level, that situation you have, that pain you have, it's kind of normal for your age. No, if you're sick, you're sick. You can be 80 years old and be very healthy. And you can see countless numbers of examples if you just look around in your own community. You can see many 80 years olds that go to work every day, that function very well, that are very happy and active. That's what you have to do. So I started thinking, I don't think nobody designed or thought of these holidays in order to get sick. So BioCare Hospital, which is a center for well-being, which is a hospital that works on your behalf, where everything that surrounds you is going to be anti-inflammatory, where we're going to be working on the quality and the equilibrium and the balance of your nutrition. And thinking of all those things, and you say, now we have Thanksgiving dinner, now we have New Year's, now we have Hanukkah, now we have, etc. What are we going to give people? And then you say, let me review it. And then you start looking at the menu. What is what we should be? And I'm going to, allow me to read some of the things that we offer this year to our friends and patients at the hospital. Like, for example, we have, and this is typical of a Thanksgiving dinner. We're doing a cream of asparagus, roasted Brussels sprouts, apple salad with black walnuts, caramelized onions and apple tart, traditional cranberry sauce, sweet potato gratin with pecans, and pumpkin pie. And of course, a beautiful buttermilk brine organic turkey with baked stuffing made with chestnuts and apples. And bread, and as a drink we prepare hibiscus flower water with pomegranate. I have to repeat, this is the typical, it's very typical. You can change one thing or the other. Like, for example, you can change the Brussels sprouts for spinach, for string beans. Nevertheless, you're talking of a vegetable. So when I review all these recipes, when I review all these tables, when I go to the magazines and look for recipes and things, all I find is a dinner that's probably 80% vegetable. Why? Because the holiday season is in root season. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, parsnip, turnip. This is the season for roots. This is the season for sprouts, for asparagus, for Brussels sprouts. This is the time for vegetables. String beans are one of them. Vegetables that are just coming out. You see? So, and red fruits, like cranberry, or pecans, or walnuts. Everything in this season is virtually of vegetable origin. So we're very close from really thinking that our menu for Christmas or Thanksgiving, it's really vegetarian based. And of course you have the turkey, which originated in the wild game, organic free range to the top, that was available at the time when our founding fathers began celebrating these seasons. So everything that we put on the table is fantastic, is very good. And I'm going to put it in the words of a good friend of the hospital that told me that these dishes all embrace what BioCare truly represents. They are all nutritious, filling, very palatable, homemade, or rather I should say made from scratch at our kitchen with tender, loving care. Remember, we have a kitchen that has 3 times the staff of our pharmacy. That's how much we believe at BioCare in the value of food. And yes, we want our patients to celebrate. We want them to have a filling, beautiful, palatable meal. And people rave about it. People love our menus on Christmas or Thanksgiving. But we just are obedient. It doesn't take too much imagination. All you have to do is open your book. Read carefully. See? So, all this holiday season, we have to choose organic, fresh, and local foods. And potatoes, and turnips, and sweet potatoes, and pumpkins, they're all around us. I mean, wherever you turn, you see them. That's what you should cook. And get a good quality turkey and work on it with loving care, and you're going to have a beautiful dinner. Where is the problem then? Who is the culprit? Who is the offender? What is happening to the dinner that people complain about weight gain or health loss? I'm going to tell you in a very short time, but let me tell you something. Is somebody that's sitting at the table. This is like a murder case. Who produced the damage to this dinner? Who is the offender? Who is the one that committed the crime? It's one of us. When you sit at the table, this is like an Agatha Christie's novel. You have to look around every single one and think, might be this person, might be the other, might be the lady sitting next to me, might be the bottler, which is very frequent. I'm going to tell you about it in just a few more minutes. My friends, I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and I'm all geared up to talk about the holiday season, the meals in particularly of the holiday season, and why these fantastic foods, that's these fantastic occasions, these beautiful tables are ruined by somebody that was invited to that very same dinner. I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and you can listen to me every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Truth Be Told Radio Network, with a repeat on Saturday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Or you can go to Spotify and search for Truth Be Told Radio Network and listen to all these broadcasts. But also, in your favorite social media, contact me, follow me, give me a like, let me know you are back there so we can keep on talking. And also, you can ask questions, you can make comments, you can disagree. But let's start a conversation that can bring some light to all these areas, because we all need it. Because we're seeing our health condition in general going down. We know now that 7 out of 10 are going to die of a chronic degenerative disease, that no, it wasn't COVID, that no, it wasn't a bug, that no, we cannot vaccinate against. It's simply our lifestyle that's killing us. And that lifestyle involves our celebrations, the way we celebrate. And now, there's a time of the year, every year, when we have holiday after holiday and after holiday, and all of them are just as important. We have Thanksgiving, we have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have New Year's. And with all those celebrations, back to back, many people say, how do I keep my weight? How do I keep my health? How do I keep my... And that's what we're talking about. You don't have to try. All you have to do is obey. Read your book. Go back to the drawing board and go back to the origin of all these festivities. And you're going to see that what you serve is seasonal food, most and foremost. We use a lot of roots, we use potatoes, we use turnips, we use sweet potato, we use pumpkin, we use asparagus, we use sprouts, we use a lot of red fruits, like cranberry. So, are these things bad for you? Of course not. They're good for you. And what about walnuts and pecans that are also in season? They're great for you. So, I was teasing a little bit about what is the problem at our table and who is the offender. Well, the culprit is very simple. And I'm going to say it in just one word. Sugar. And the offender, whoever brought it to the table. Sugar does not belong at our Christmas table, does not belong in our Thanksgiving table, not even on New Year's. But let me go to Thanksgiving because it's probably one of the most representative festivities of the year. And food-wise is very important. Because I was telling you, for example, about the menu at BioCare Hospital for Thanksgiving. And it's virtually a vegetarian dinner. Cream of asparagus, Brussels sprouts, apple salad with black walnuts, caramelized onion and apple, cranberry, sweet potato, pecans, pumpkin pie, hibiscus flower water with pomegranate, and bread. And of course, our turkey with the stuffing made with chestnuts and apples. It's only 20% animal protein, 80% vegetarian foods, and seasonal. So the problem is that we have been given very bad advice by someone. And we have brought sugar to our table. First of all, if you think of it, when Thanksgiving began, our founding fathers did not have sugar. Sugar wasn't available. It had barely started in the Caribbean. But that was for a very wealthy. It was very expensive. It was not a common food. But then we started to like it, and we started to use it. And there's something even worse behind it. Why is it worse? Because sugar gratifies the same centers that cocaine does. Sugar produces an addiction like any drug. So we're bringing to our table, we're giving our children, we're teaching them to love sugar. And it's not difficult to love it. But I have seen, for example, in southern Mexico, when sugar is available, but it's expensive for people, that people use very little sugar in their menus. I've seen many people in there that when you give them a sweet, they don't like it. So we do not necessarily love it all the time. It's like salt. They teach us to love it. They teach us to like alcohol. They teach us to like tobacco. Why? Because there's business behind it. So we're doing the same game that any drug trafficker would do. I'm going to give you a candy, so you love sugar, you're going to be hooked, and you're going to take it all the rest of your life with all its consequences. What are the consequences? That sugar triggers a low degree inflammation in the body that can last day in, day out for years and years and years. And that inflammation is going to be the reason behind a lot of the health problems we're seeing today. The most obvious, diabetes. See? But what I hate the most is that we were given many times sugar in the first place to make us, to turn us into slave, into an addict. And you see it with many people. I mean, you have seen TV shows where they say, oh, forget about it, I'm just going to have a calorie feast, and they take a pint of ice cream and eat it. when you think of ice cream, the way you buy it in supermarkets today is just a mixture of fat, which is usually a vegetable fat, and sugar. And when you think of it, that's a combination that does not exist in nature. There is no way you can find a sweet fat in nature. Fat is fat, and not necessarily bad. Many fats are fantastic. What about omega-3s? What about a good piece of salmon? They're very good fats. What about omega-3s in nuts? They're very good fats. Even bacon. It has oleic acid. But a vegetable fat, that's not good for us. And then with sugar, it's a lot worse. But nevertheless, I want you to remember that every time you're taking some sugar, you're gratifying the same centers in your brain that Coke would do. So you become an addict. You need your sugar. You need your boost. So, do we have to stop it? Definitely. Stop soda pop. Stop candies. Stop cakes. Stop anything that has that sugar with that fat. A cake today is white refined flour, white refined sugar, and vegetable fat. Do you really want to eat that and give it to your children? I mean, I would test you free of charge just to show you what happens after you had that slice of cake. You can make bread at home. You can even make cakes at home. But make sure you're going to use real butter, eggs, good quality flour, and very little sugar, and use a more complex sugar, not white refined sugar. So, as we tell our guests, you're invited to my table. Don't bring sugar. Don't bring fats. Our bodies do not need it. Flowers are always welcome. So is fresh fruit. But don't litter my table with things that I know are going to be harmful to me and to my guests. If we start just doing that, if you start just making sure that at every of these celebrations, you're not going to have soda pop, you're not going to have refined sugar, you're not going to have goodies and treats with sugar and vegetable fat. If you just make sure you're bringing to the Thanksgiving or Christmas table what should be there, what our founding fathers found to be the perfect menu, which is dominantly vegetable, fresh, local products, and some good quality animal protein. You can have some pork, you can have a turkey, you can have a nice salmon. You see, there are so many options to do it. But all you have to do is ban from your house, from that table, these things because you want to please your guests. You don't want them to go sick. I'll be with you. My friends, I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and today I'm very excited, very happy, and hopefully being able to get through you with information that you enjoy, like, or at the very least, I'd like you to think, to reflect on a lot of the things that we have discussed. We have begun by talking about this big holiday season that we enjoy once a year, and how many people come to me as a doctor and ask me, "Doctor, I love this season, I love the holidays, I celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's, etc. But how can I handle my health problems? I'm diabetic, I'm overweight, or I have high blood pressure." The common diseases of today's time because of our lifestyle. So we have already the problem. So what are we going to do? We have to change all this. And then they say, and on top of that, I have this holiday time, I'm invited to this, I'm invited to that, we have a company celebration. So not only is Thanksgiving or Hanukkah or New Year's, but it is also, I have my wife's company celebration, my own company celebration, people visiting, etc. So this is a time where in a period a little bit longer than 1 month, we have party after party after party back to back. How do I do it? Well, it's very simple. You don't have to take any vitamin, you don't have to take any supplement, you don't have to run to the gym. All you have to do is be obedient and say, okay, what are the foods that are being offered to me this time of the year? Roots, like sweet potato and potatoes and these things. Some special vegetables that are only available this time of the year, like pumpkin. We have Brussels sprouts. We have a lot of fruits, red fruits in particular. We have cranberry, which is, of course, the classic of this time of the year. Why? Because they used to have a lot. And they used to just harvest it from the wild. They didn't have to buy them. Then wild game. Turkeys were not produced for Thanksgiving. Turkeys were wild game at the time of the founding of the nation. So that's what they got. So it was very natural. In some places they used clams or fish because they were by the ocean. So you have like the New England clam chowder, which is potatoes, which is cream, which is clams. So you see, the more you hear, the more you are convinced that all these are good foods. So what do we have to do? Is get rid of sugar. Get rid of factory-made food. Don't buy a ton of ice cream. Don't buy soda pop. Don't buy cakes, mainly if nobody made them. Mainly if you go to a bakery shop and you see them and they look beautiful, they're just sugar and fat and white flour. None of that is good for you. But if you go to your table and you have your sprouts, your Brussels sprouts, if you have your asparagus, which is another sprout, if you have all these sorts of foods, you're going to be in great shape. And then you get a big basket of nuts and a nutcracker that you share with people, and you buy 2 or 3, and then you just crack nuts and you talk at the fireplace with these nuts and so forth. You're going to be very healthy. You're not going to gain weight, you're not going to feel bad. And as I was telling you, BioCare Hospital takes this very seriously. And we love to see people's faces when they sit at the table, when they look at their plates, and when they leave them clean, because they love the food they use. And you know, at the end of that meal, they're not going to be inflamed, their blood pressure is not going to go up, they're not going to be intoxicated, they're not going to have any health problem whatsoever. Quite the contrary, because they got very good nutrition above all. But then it was filling. and what it was very satisfying. And then it is very palatable. And people rave about our Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners. And if you want, you can get a recipe book, which is the other part of the situation. I mean, you can say, well, doctor is talking about good foods and how to do this, like a pear salad with blue cheese, or like a cream of asparagus, or like the traditional cranberry sauce, and even the turkey, the butternut squash soup. So there are many things that you can find in our recipes. And if you want to, you can go to the social media of your choice. You can go to Facebook. You can go to Instagram. You can go to Twitter and request. And we will send you a PDF with every single recipe we have for those celebrations. And anything that comes from a factory, anything that's in a box, anything that's in a can, anything that's in a foil, don't bring it to your celebration. You deserve a lot better than that. Your family deserves a lot better than that. And think that every time you feed sugar to somebody, you are helping an addiction. I said it right, you heard it right. Sugar gratifies the same centers that gratify many drugs. So don't bring sugar, because you wouldn't give your children hard drugs, would you? Well, don't give them sugar. Show them a different way. Share with them. In this time and age, you have a world of possibilities because of internet. Well, go and look for options. How do I get, and again, you can get a recipe book and you say, how do I do a pumpkin pie? How do I do a caramelized pear or onions? Or a real cranberry sauce that I can use with some whole wheat bread, with real butter. You see, you have many options to show your children and your family how to enjoy time without bringing any bad foods, without bringing inflammation or chronic disease. You don't need it in your life. You want to come to BioCare Hospital because you want to do a 10-day health getaway at BioCare, because you want to be healthier, because you want to last longer, because you want to do like an aircraft every so often, a D-check and fix everything you can fix and prevent anything you can prevent, but not because you're sick. BioCare means healthful living. BioCare means healthful well-being. It means enjoyment and happiness and long life and long productive life. Once again, you are your best asset. I want you working, making money, raising your family, looking after your children when they go to the university, when they get married, when you have your grandchildren. I don't want you to spend your money in doctors and laboratories and so forth. So that's why I'm always talking about this. And if you really need a break, if you really feel you need something to do with your life in order to be healthier and stronger, then I propose you a 10-day BioCare Health Getaway. You start doing that, and those 10 days, I'm going to turn them into 10 years of well-being. Because you're going to learn how to handle your body. You're going to get rid of inflammation. You're going to get rid of a lot of problems. You're going to be targeted, supplemented. Because we're going to go through A, B, C, Z and see where are the deficiencies. And we're going to solve them in no time, because we're going to be using intravenous nutrition, intravenous supplementation. We're going to be working with high concentrations of oxygen under a hyperbaric chamber. We're going to be working on your physical well-being, on your exercise level. You see? And with doing all these things and learning how to do it and following it at home, it can change your life for the better. So next time you think of taking a cruise, don't do it. Get your spouse and say, let's go for 10 days. You can share the room. Let's talk for 10 days. When is the last time we had a very long conversation? We're going to have a 10-day conversation. We're going to watch TV together. We're going to read together for 10 days, but we're going to be treated. We're going to be diagnosed. We're going to be checked with everything. Not only checked, but we're going to correct. We're going to change for better everything. You see, the problem with checkup is they tell you what's wrong. Now what? No, here you're going to do everything at the same time. We're going to put you in a beautiful room with your private bath, with your internet, with everything you need, and you're going to be enjoying with somebody you love 10 days of full diagnosis and recovery and changing what has to be changed. And when you come out of here, number one, believe me, you're going to look younger. You're going to have lost some pounds. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel more focused. And you're going to be ready to go. And you're going to say, how did I do it before? I have couples that spend their wedding anniversary at BioCare Hospital. It is a big investment. I can tell you it can be very profitable. So please don't hesitate. Call me, contact me, like me, follow me, and we'll be in touch.